Good day, you beautiful brave hearts all around the world. I'm Dr. Darrell Wolfe, and today I'd like to just say this. I wish you the best life ever, and if you are not going to invest into the present moment, every present moment, you're never going to be your authentic self. You are going to be a slave on this planet. You should never, ever compare yourself to anybody else on this planet, because the chances of you comparing yourself to a slave is very likely. The majority of the population, okay, they don't even know their mind. They don't even know that their mind is a landmine. They don't even know that they're not even awake. Look, let me just talk about this for a second, okay? The reality is, everybody, okay, is that we've never been emotionally or physically sicker than we are right now. There's been no medical breakthroughs. There is energy medicine, and your spirit is the most powerful energy medicine in the universe. Everything I do is about energy medicine. I don't practice medicine, I practice energy medicine. I don't practice holistic health and healing. I practice energy medicine. If somebody could actually get you to believe in your spirit and get you to understand that that's the only thing that you need to feed, and you will become more than you ever need. But no, because of the greed, okay, and I mean greed, because we've all been taught with lack. We're not good enough to love. We're not smart enough. Understand something, it's all a lie. Everything I ever learned was a lie. Everything I learned. Almost everything I ever learned from my parents was a lie. My father was a born-again Christian, and every day he'd say, I cannot wait to be with Jesus. And there's nothing wrong with him saying that. He can be with whoever he wants to be. But he spent his whole life in misery down here, and he made this a living hell for himself and for me and my brothers and my mother. And I love my father, and he didn't mean to do that. But understand something, we are so programmed to have such dysfunctional beliefs. People say to me, oh, is he angry? I'm not angry. I'm a braveheart hero lion, and I am not going to change. Okay, I did this round table. I talked about it a little bit the other day, but I need to talk about it again. And in that round table was a naturopathic doctor, there was a medical doctor, there was other holistic people in there, and you could tell they were doing all kiss-ass stuff, and I do mean that, and I know I just swore, but I'm never going to kiss anybody's ass because I'm scared of the government, I'm scared of the medical system, I'm scared of what people think about me. I think that's already obvious that I don't care what you think about me. I care about what you think about yourself. If I get on here and it just makes you go, this guy's a crackpot, well, then you weren't meant for the message. My message is always going to be about unconditional love, unconditional care for yourself and no one else. It's not going to be about you buying my products, but I will tell you, I have the highest vibrational products in the world, and there is no other clinic. I challenge every clinic out there around the world. I mean, everyone. I challenge Mayo Clinic. I challenge every clinic that when you're done with your patients, you send them to us, and I'll work on them for free. I'll work on them for free. And understand, the only time that I have to give up on a patient is when the patient has given up on themselves. I will have people come through the door right here, because we have a clinic here, all right, that's off of the Braveheart Nation studios, and then we have a full-fledged clinic only 5 minutes from here where people stay in. And I will tell you right now, people will come with the most life-threatening, okay, and they've already gotten death sentence from other people, and we prove that they're wrong. And then I'll have people come who, guess what, were maybe sexually, physically, emotionally abused most of their life. And then guess what, when they weren't getting it from someone else, they kept on doing the program to themselves. You can't beat up on yourself emotionally and not think that you are putting a chokehold on your spirit. I'm telling you right now, I will quit the business if I am not 100% authentic. I will quit the business if I ever change my verbiage to try to get some money out of somebody. I am so over that. I've been accused of snake oil salesman. Meanwhile, my products are the best in the world, and I know they are. You know what? Nobody wants to come up against me when I tell them I can take a 5-inch by 3-inch tumor and reduce it down to 1 inch by 1 inch in 24 minutes. Nobody even goes, oh my God, that's a bloody miracle. Oh my God, is he a savior? No, I'm not. We have to save ourselves. You have genius inside of you. You have the healer. You have the creator inside of you. Almost everything that was ever taught about religion is a lie. There is no hell. There is no hell. We create hell. You know what my father used to say to me? You know what, Daryl? If you don't behave, you're going to go to hell forever. I would go to bed banging my head on my pillow until I fell asleep. I love my father. My father had a really good heart, but he had really bad programs. The whole thing is BS. It was all BS. We have dumbed down the creator of the universe to some dysfunctional, emotional being. If I told you the things I know that are true about so-called religion and not true, you would probably not want to be on my platform. You would not want to have anything to do with me because guess what? You couldn't process it. You wouldn't be able to process it. I get it. We got to bite it off in baby steps. I'm not angry. I just know this. I've never figured it out and I'll never figure out why, okay? This is the setup it is, but listen, this is a game. It's a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure if you know the rules. And it's called unconditional love and unconditional care for yourself. And understand something. Every time that you get angry, my sweetheart, every time that you get angry, you're angry because, guess what? You poured your heart out. You did something with all the love in the world, and then it was disrespected. And then guess what? The person that disrespected isn't even thinking about it. But guess what? You're as angry as hell. And that creates the dis-ease in you because you're not in alignment anymore. The medical system is a setup. You tell me, I know that there are loving doctors out there. There are loving nurses. But guess what? When they have programs that are built on deceit and lies, and guess what? They only dispense poison. I dispense no poison, but I got the FDA crawling up my butt all the time. Meanwhile, I've got the purest products in the world, the highest vibrational frequency. And I'll tell you, I haven't put my prices up in 10 years. Did you get that? 10 years. If you knew what my profit margin is, you'd go, well, that's bloody well ridiculous. But no, everybody thinks that, you know what? They're up to something. He's up to something. He's up to something. I'm not up to anything. I'll tell you what, I'm going to continually to do this game, but this game has to change for me. Okay? The reality is I'm not out to heal people. I'm out for people to learn how to feel their way through life and to wake up to their breathing, to wake up that they exist. And that which is called creator has given you everything. It's not going to save your bloody butt. Nobody's coming to save us. And understand something, and you can believe this or not. I get calls every day by some mystic. Oh my God, Dr. Wolfe, I just wanted to tell you about this. Last night I had this dream, okay, and guess what? There is going to be a big change in the world, and we are all going to be set free. And I'm going, well, thank you for that information, but what a bunch of bullshit. I have been told that, okay? I've been told that by people that are psychics and mystics and people who say, I've got this thing, I can see things, since I started the business, okay? I'm not making this up. So look, you know what? Okay, I want to be wrong. And then you can all come on and tell me that I'm wrong. But I'm going to tell you something right now. You got to stop being angry. You got to stop being angry at the government because the government's not broken. You got to stop being angry at the medical system. If I have to hear one more person, okay, call me up and then want to talk to me and complain about the medical system for 15 minutes, when that 15 minutes we could have said, what do you really want? What do you really want to be? Do you understand? Okay, I'm going to tell you something right now. So anyways, I did this round table, right? And I said to the person who organized this round table, if you ever want me to come on this round table again, if you ever try to shut me down for telling the truth, I want nothing to do with you or the group. You know what? Just because everybody around that round table is gonna kiss the butt of the medical system, and then guess what? The one naturopathic doctor goes, oh yes, we do prescribe and we do lots of tests now. And of course they do, because guess what? Naturopathic doctors, they cross the line. They're now wrapped up into the medical system, but she goes, but you know, we're allowed to do more tests now. We get more tests done. And we're allowed to prescribe drugs, but guess what? We still have to answer to a medical doctor, and it can be really difficult. Well, that's because guess what? They're always going to have their foot on your throat. And why in the heck would you go to become a naturopathic doctor and then go and write prescriptions for petroleum? Why would you do that? And don't you already know that X-rays are radiation? Why wouldn't you do thermography? That's what we do. I do heavy metal testing. I do thermography. I don't need to send you for a parasite test to know you're full of them. I don't need to send you to get a test to know that you're toxic. Let me tell you something right now. Health is way more simple than you think it is. You know, these functional medicine doctors they're breaking up everything into little bits and bytes. That's not the way you do it. Right now, I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm trying to raise the money, but it's a lot of money. And I want to create what's called the Advanced Water Fasting app. And that will change the world. Okay? But that's the price of an expensive sports car. And I've already spent $250,000 on the BHN app. Go check it out. It's free. The thing is free. Oh, what's he up to? What's that Dr. Wolfe up to? I'm selling unconditional love and unconditional care for every human being. Okay? And if that doesn't sit well with you, you're on the wrong platform. I had a meeting here today. My accountant flew in and my business advisor, and just telling us about, you know, because we realize, you know, because the whole digital thing's coming in and there's going to be a real upset financially, and that's to the majority of the population. And again, I'm going to tell you something, and you can think I'm being a smart, you know what, but that's not going to happen to us because I've made the moves. You know, I've taken everything that I have, you know, and I put it into gold and silver because there's going to be an upset. And I've taken a fair bit and put it into what's called XRP, and it's a company called Ripple. And that's where we're going in the future. So, you know, you just keep having people tell you, fight back, only use cash, don't do this. We were already digital when we had a Visa card. And I love cash, but understand something. I am also not going to be ignorant, okay? And I'm telling you right now that the majority of the population are ignorant, not because they're stupid, but because they've been stupefied and programmed that way. You know, if you went to any public school, then you were stupefied. If you went to a public college, you were stupefied. If you went to a public university, you were stupefied. And, you know, I just love this part. Oh, my God, he's such a genius. He's got 3 PhDs, and you should see what comes out of his mind. He is so brilliant. No, he's not. He's got tons of information, and the longer that people are in a government school, the more dangerous that they are. And that's the real truth of the fact. And, you know, people don't like when I talk like this, but I don't really care. If I'm going to be down here, I'm going to be a Braveheart warrior and tell everyone that you have the chance to live free down here. You don't have to be a slave. But most of you don't think you're a slave, but you are a slave. Okay? All right? You're a slave. I mean, you know what? Nobody holds a gun to my head and says, oh, well, all we got is toxic food here. No, why do you think I am where I am in Ixtapas, Mexico? You know, I still have a practice in Texas. I have a practice in Florida coming. You know, the reality is guys, I'm going to go where I can be the healthiest. There's not a chemtrail ever here in Ixtapas, Mexico. All right? I don't have anybody breathing down my neck. I can be creative here. And the reality is that I really need you to get. When I was telling you about that meeting that I did, that round table that they want me to do more, I told them, I said to the moderator who called me up yesterday, I said, you ever try to apologize because I'm telling the truth? We're done. And understand something. You know what? I understand that you want to be popular. So to be popular, you have to dilute your message, but you're diluting yourself. So, you know, we've got the naturopathic doctor going, oh, I get to prescribe drugs. Ooh, aren't you powerful? But guess what? I'm under the realm of the medical system. It gets really frustrating. Oh, really? Really? Okay, and then we've got the medical doctor on there talking about you can't get enough tests. And that us natural health people, we need to become more, we need to work with the medical system more. Are you like kidding? That's like walking in the lion's cage and getting chewed up and spit out. Understand, Rockefeller owns big pharma in North America, and other big families own it in Europe, throughout the world. And understand something right now. They want their drugs out there and nothing else. Let me tell you, you can always do massage, you'll never get bothered. You can always do acupuncture, never get bothered. You know what? You can always do chiropractic and never get bothered. But you do my work that I put together. I mean, I put it together 28 years ago, it started. And now I'm here, where you can take a fibroid, tumor, stage 4, and bring it down by 1 inch by 1 inch, okay? When it was 3 inch by 5 inch, or you can take a person with a curvature and their scoliosis, or you can take, I give a money back guarantee to anybody that you're not gonna go to surgery. Your body is amazing. That which created the universe created an amazing creator called you. And then I'm going to help you get out of your own way because you're doing things that are hurting yourself. And the reality is this. I don't know of another clinic that can bring the thunder down more than we can. And if you're out there, you call me up, because I will carry that energy medicine device. I will do that strategy, and I will give you credit. But every one of you out there, practitioners, don't think that I'm trying to overpower or challenge you. I'm trying to tell you that you can take all my information, all my guides, all my videos, don't give me any credit, take it all, make it your own. Just put your own name on it, because you need a surfboard. If you find anything that's going to help you, you just take it for free. You can call me up and I'll actually send you the slides. I'll send you the information. I'll even give you guidance. I want you to be better than me. And that's the thing that people don't get. I want every practitioner out there to take my information and the information they already have, and I want them to outdo what I'm doing, because isn't this supposed to be for the good of our planet? Aren't we supposed to be a family? What a bunch of bullshit. What a bunch of bullshit. The day that I stopped looking for love from my kids, my family, from the world, approval, and stopped taking things personal, was the day that I stopped injuring my family, my kids, and the rest of the world. And greed, oh my God. Well, because now they're shutting off the tap, aren't they? Tell me they're not. Tell me they're not shutting off the tap to money. And then everybody's freaking out here. So now it's lack. So what happens when you get lack? I'm going to tell you 3 main instances that happened in the last 2 months. People that I work with who tried to screw me out of thousands of dollars. And guess why they did it? Because they didn't believe that they had genius in them. If they believe that they have to do this. Do you know what happens when you put people into survival mode? People get hurt. Do you know when you put them into survival mode so much, you'll cause people to want to go to war and kill their brothers and sisters? And understand something right now. You can't give me a war that was worth fighting. And you know what? Okay, listen. I love America, but I'm done with the patriotic bullshit of how we're trying to go around the world to try to protect ourselves. No, we are just an arm, okay, of destruction by these psycho terrorists that have been ruling everything since the beginning of time. Look at how almost every military person is treated after they come back. They are disrespected. My heart goes out to them. You know what? When I say that there is no war worth fighting for, the only one is inside of your head that has been programmed in there, okay, from your parents that were adulterated and all your peers, and then going to your governmental school. And doesn't it feel so good to come together as a team to want to go out and kill another nation or kill someone else because they have a different belief or something? Oh, you know what? I am so over this. You know what? I just said, you know, it's just like at that round table that I just did. I said, you know, all I did was come on there and I said, listen, because what they said was, they said, why do you think people can't stick to holistic? Oh my God. So what these people said is that people are lazy. People are lazy, okay? Or they can't focus. Well, that's not why. And then I came out, and you know what I said? I'll tell you why the majority can't stick to holistic is because the natural health practitioners and the medical practitioners, mainly the medical ones, they don't do any training. They absolutely do no training when it comes to anything to do with love or eating right or detoxification. These are all swear words, okay? And then when it comes to the natural health practitioners, their programs are diluted down. You got to understand something. You're only going to get from the practitioner what they give to themselves. They can't give you what they're not. Do you see how I'm ready to hold the line here for all the bravehearts around the world and tell them that, guess what? I'm going to come out and I'll roar louder than you so that you can take that meow and make it into your own roar so that you can find your authentic self. Well, most people aren't going to do it because, you know what? If you feel that you have to survive, okay, to do what everybody else is doing when you know inside your higher self it's wrong, you know, but you have to do it because you got to pay the mortgage, the kids are. I don't have that bullshit story, and I never will. I don't care what happens financially because I know that, guess what? There is a God, there is a creator, there is a universal intelligence, and all I have to do is just hold the vibration, okay, that higher vibration, and stick with it. It doesn't matter. I'm going to tell you something right now. 25 years ago, I was worth almost $3 million. And yes, I worked for it. No, I didn't. I did not steal from people. Thank you very much. You know, and I'm going to tell you something right now. Only 17 years ago, I was worth $2,200. My beautiful partner, Lori, had money, and she goes, I'll help you out, Daryl. I said, no, you won't. Because guess what? I believe in myself, and I believe in the creator of everything. $2,200. Someday I'll tell you the story. And 3 days later, I got a phone call, and it all just went poof. Because I was out of business. I quit for 8 years. I've only been back in business now for 15 years. That's it. That's all. Because I quit for 8 years because I couldn't stand the way I was doing business myself. I'm serious. I mainly worked with cancer patients. And you know what? And they started looking at me as their savior. And you know what? We'd end up selling them sometimes $10,000 in products. My God, the best thing I could have done was close the Wolfe Clinic, and I did. I walked away. I said, I got to do something new. I'm always going to be a rebel because a rebel is somebody who's not going to put up with the story that is actually undermining the health and the wealth of all his brothers and sisters. You need to understand, okay, when I was 30 years old, I was working on AIDS patients, HIV patients. And back then we knew that HIV was never isolated. They've never isolated it. It doesn't exist. And guess what? So this news station sent in someone, and they did a meeting with me, and they said, it was an undercover, and they brought in this person who had HIV just to try to set me up. And they said, do you believe that HIV or AIDS could be cured? And I said, I absolutely do. And you know what? Now I know that I'm not allowed to say these things, but the reality is, they never asked my opinion, but you can't really cure something that doesn't exist. And if you really knew the true story, you'd know that these people were poisoned. If you really knew the true story about anything, every epidemic, we've been poisoned. They poisoned us, okay? You're not sick, you were poisoned. You're not tired, you were poisoned. You can't sleep because you were poisoned. You can't lose weight because you were poisoned. That's it. There is no other thing to it. And I got to tell you, you know, and then guess what? They spent over $100,000 3 years ago and sent down reporters down here to Mexico, right? And guess what? And the 3 people that actually passed on that they said I murdered, I'm going to tell you something. That's right. We can just go around murdering people, and then we can just go do whatever we want. La, 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 la. Are you like out of your skull? I mean, but people actually believe this. So I don't really care what people think anymore because a lot of people don't have critical thinking. But I do care about having unconditional love for every one of my brothers and sisters. We were all created from the same creator. And back to this round table thing, I'm never doing that again. I'm never doing that again. I will never, ever do that again unless I can speak the truth. I mean, they're talking about how early testing is really important. No, it's not. There's already been studies done to show that people who have early testing for cancer, it doesn't work out well for them, and other diseases as well. I mean, there's certain things that, yes, there needs to be medical intervention. And I have never told anyone to come off any drugs. People say to me, well, should I come off my drugs? I go, look, at my products and what I'm going to do is not going to do anything to the drugs. They're going to do what they were meant to do, whatever that is, okay? But understand this. You'll come off your drugs when you feel so good you don't need them. At one point in your life, you didn't need drugs. Now you need drugs, but mainly it's psychologically that you need them, because most drugs don't do what they're supposed to do and they cause more trouble anyway. But I'm not going to get involved in your drugs. You just keep working with your medical doctor if you want. But guess what? Just remember, when you tell your medical doctor something, he knows nothing about me and he's going to write me right off. He's going to write me off without a thought. Because in his oath, he does not have the Hippocrates oath. He has the hypocrite oath. He has the hypocrite oath. And that is that it'll be very rare that you'll see a medical doctor do that, because they're threatened of losing their license all the time. They've seen what happens. Heads will roll. Why do you think I do not belong to any organization? Okay, except one, Braveheart. Braveheart Nation, which I started. Braveheart Nation. That's the only one I'm ever going to be. Nobody's ever going to tell me what to do. Okay? I am never going to cut a corner to make money. I am never going to let go of my integrity. And I am going to look at everyone, no matter what they think of me, okay, as a spirit being on a journey. And maybe they're not where I'm at yet. So I need empathy. I need empathy for people. And when people go, oh, they're stupid, they're ignorant. No, they're not. They're programmed. And the reality is we don't know how long it's going to take. But guess what, guys? Why don't you just do your homework? There has never been, okay, there has never been anybody that came down to save the planet, to save a nation. Nobody. Since the beginning of history, you bought into a bullshit story. And if I have to listen to that story, I think I just want to walk away and shut her down, baby. Because the only one that's going to be a hero is you. But you know what? If you could just, for long enough and strong enough, love and care for yourself, take nothing personal, need nobody's approval, and just know that when you find that God spot in your heart, you take that idea, you take that to the God spot, and then tell me if it doesn't create a flame. I'm telling you right now, you know what? The majority of the population is desperate for love, and they'll do anything. They'll pull their pants down. They'll get themselves drunk. They'll do drugs. They'll do whatever they need to get love. We are emotional beings, and that is either going to be what? That is going to be the silver bullet that actually helps us rise to become our authentic self, or our demise. And understand, the majority of the population will always sell their soul, okay, for love. They will sell their soul for love, and second to that, they'll sell their soul for money. So until you actually totally love yourself unconditionally and care for yourself and let yourself off the hook for everything you've ever done, and when somebody judges you, you're going to go, I'm going to observe this. I'm not going to judge myself. Let them judge me. That's what they do. Let me tell you something. In a world that just judges you, what else would you do but judge yourself and judge your family and hurt people? I'm never going to judge anyone about anything. I want to find out what is the belief system that's undermining their present moment, that's undermining their health, their wealth. I'd like to find out that. What if I really did care? What if I am telling the truth? What if I am? And if I'm not, wow, what a smooth artist I am, eh? And then there's always going to be people coming on here and just saying it. But why can't we allow people to have different beliefs? That's called unconditional love. As long as they're not harming you. And understand something, most of you will push back on a belief if it doesn't match your prominent dominant beliefs, and you don't know that, but that was a program actually set in the mind of humans to undermine humans, to become human doings. And understand something, I have had people come together, like when I had the marketplace, CBC, come after me, spend over $100,000 sending producers and directors and people here to try to sneak in, to try to see if they could destroy my business once and for all. They've tried it 4 times in my life now. Don't they know it's not going to win? I'm not going to stop? Doesn't the government know? They can't get anything against me legally, so they got to make it up. So understand this. It's my world. I belong here just as much as anyone, and so do you. But you've got to belong to yourself, which means you've got to be valuable. You've got to start becoming valuable. Let me tell you, I just got to tell you something. I've changed again, and I'm not growing bitter. I'm growing with more love in my heart for those people that will never wake up. Please be good to them. Because whether you want to believe it or not, and you're not going to like me for this, only 2% of the population will ever wake up on this planet. I want you to sit with this for a second. You can't crack the egg from the outside in. You'll kill the chick. It's got to crack from the inside out. And the only way to do that is to shine light on the egg so it incubates properly. And to do that, that light is your unconditional love that you have for yourself and for those that you used to judge. I don't care what your religion is. I don't care what your color is. I don't care what shape you're in. Just know that I love you. I want you to love you. You know, this is what we need to do. I am not some kind of, I'm not a healer, okay? I'm not something to be worshipped. I'm not something to be followed. I want you to go inside yourself and follow your heart, follow your higher consciousness. I'm going to talk like this forever and a day. Forever and a day. You know, I've worked to have my surroundings to be the most high vibrational and beautiful because I want to actually show that I love myself and care for myself. I would not live in the city in a condo. I wouldn't live where there's a ton of people because you're all being targeted. If you live in a large city right now, you have no idea that if you still love your life, you're amazing. Because guess what? Elon Musk and all these other psychos that are firing the 5G satellites and they're putting a 5G terminal on every corner in large cities now. You're being fried. And then the blue light, look at all the neon lights and LED just everywhere. Okay, and then guess what? They're poisoning the organics. They're poisoning all the foods in the supermarkets. And I'm not trying to upset you. I'm trying to tell you that if you think smart, you can do this. Most of you only need to eat 1/3 of what you're eating. And if you don't really care for me and you want to prove a point, don't buy it from me. But if you were to take 30% of what you spend on food and buy really good nutraceuticals, you can call me. I won't even charge you. I'll tell you what I would do. And you were to take nutraceuticals, you could spend $1,000 in food from the supermarket or $100 in nutraceuticals, and you're going to get 100 times more out of that because you're guaranteed to have it. As long as the person who makes the products isn't lying and trying to cut corners, which I will never do. And if you don't want to come to me, find someone that you know will never cut corners. And that's it. I'm going to tell you something right now, and you can believe it or not believe it. Okay? I don't know what God truly is, but I know what it isn't. And it isn't what most of the people think. So there you go. That's my opinion, okay? I know that God is a light energy, electrical, magnetic being. Being meaning frequency. It's not like a human. It's nothing like that. It's a high vibrational electrical magnetic frequency that has created a whole universe, right? And I'm actually going to think that when I was a child was going to send me to hell because I didn't follow these 10 commandments, which really I don't think anything very evolved actually wrote those either. If you really wanted to pick them apart, why don't you look at George Carlin's stuff and understand something? What a mind he had. And I'm not trying to down your belief systems because you think that's your life jacket in this storm. But the only life jacket in this storm is called your spirit. Start feeding it and start standing up for yourself, not coming against people. Don't come against people's beliefs. You know, I want to be happy. I don't need to be right. And you can say, I'm wrong. Guess what? But I'm going to be happy because I didn't say anything to down you. I didn't say anything bad about you, but you're already pissed off. Think about it. I told you I love you. I told you I don't care who you are. I love you anyway. I told you that if you just had value, They wouldn't be able to touch you. If you had value, you would be wealthy, healthy, okay? And your spirit would be flying high. That's the deal. You know, don't tell me what you don't like. Don't tell me what you don't want. Tell me what you want to become and where you want to go, and I would love to work with you. But don't come here and tell me what you don't want, because that's what the majority of the population is doing. That's why only 2% will awake. That's why only, guess what? 1 out of 10,000 will actually become spiritually aware, totally aware. And guess what? They won't be going into a building to do it. They won't be going to a sermon to do it. They will be going into the woods. They'll be hugging a tree. They will be sitting by the lake. They will be looking up to the sky. They will be breathing the air and going, oh my God, I exist. I apologize if I'm overwhelming you, but you have no idea how I feel today. I love you more. I love my life more. I so appreciate and humble myself down in front of that which I don't know what it is, but I do know that it is the strongest light energy, electrical magnetic frequency, and it doesn't have a personality, okay, that it needs to be on Prozac or a straitjacket, that 1 minute it loves me and it doesn't. Let's stop this nonsense. Let's stop all the nonsense. And guess what? I just can't take it anymore. I can't take that part anymore, and I'm not going to take it anymore. I'm not going to believe in it anymore. I'm going to believe in you, and you believe in you. And that's what you need to do, because the you stands for universe. You must become your universe. You must put yourself first and foremost before anyone else or anything else. So help me God. So help me my God, my God, my God. Not this dumbass God. 1 minute loves me, 1 minute hates me. There's no such thing as sinner syndrome down here. This is either slavery or you're a Braveheart hero. There's only two ways to go. You're a slave or you're a Braveheart hero, and you're standing up for yourself for the first time in your life. You're not fighting back. You're loving inward. You're going inward because it's an inner standing. You will never see me change no matter what. I couldn't be threatened to change. They threaten me all the time. And I get threats all the time. I'll tell you something right now. I will not serve what most people call their you-know-what. But I will serve mine. And if it means I'm only here for one more day, I'll serve mine, thank you. Because guess what? I'd rather live one more day totally being a free spirit and letting every psycho, evil entity out there know they're not doing anything with me. But they don't really want to. It'd take too much work. You know what they want? They want to go for the low-hanging fruit. Okay? The obese, the overweight, the pre-diabetic, the person that's inflamed, the person that reacts and attacks himself and everyone else. Because then you're going to be not at ease. You're going to be at dis-ease. They need everyone as sick as possible. And you can take this one to the bank. Elon Musk was only with Donald Trump because guess what? They're both big players. Oh yeah, you're going to get some things that you want. Oh, but you're going to get some things you don't want, especially your grandchildren. And understand something. Don't kid yourself, okay? Don't kid yourself if he tries to be the next president, okay, or vice president, to bring in transhumanism. Elon Musk is not my friend. Elon Musk developed a car called a Tesla that the battery fries the ovaries and the uterus and causes infertility and also causes prostate cancer, inflammation. Do you want me to keep going? There's only a million different reasons why you wouldn't do it. Did they put a shield over the battery? No, they didn't. Do you know why? Because he's not your friend. And understand something, okay? All right? Nobody's been to the moon, so nobody's going to Mars. But you go ahead and believe in that, and then ask yourself where he gets all his money from. I'm not trying to put him down. This is just one big movie for me. This is one big Matrix movie. And I'm going to mind my own business. Because they're just going to keep on harvesting people, right? Okay? They're just going to keep on looking like that they're the good guys. And, you know, but I don't know. There's no good guys, no bad guys. But ask yourself, what do you want in your life? Well, you want you to be the hero of your story. So don't think anybody's coming around to save you, okay? Because they're not. They're not. And I'm going to tell you, you know, me saying to this moderator from this roundtable I did, that if I'm not allowed to speak the truth on this roundtable, they can count me out. Don't ever ask me to do this again, but I will support your projects, but don't come on there and think that you can dumb me down because I need to kiss people's butt because I need more business. I'm going to mind my own business, feed my spirit, and know this. The more that I feed my spirit and the more I become enlightened, that is the only true way to what we call heaven. And if you don't mind, I'm going to go to heaven right now. And I'm going to stay there in my heaven. And then guess what? You're going to tell me that people don't live in hell because they think there is a hell? You don't tell me that people don't live in hell because they believe that they need a hero? You don't tell me that people that live in hell because they've been taught that they are stupid? Let me tell you something right now. They make us believe that we got to go to school. You know, you need to go to get all your schooling. You need to get really high grades in school. Let me tell you, the only time that I got high grades was when in grade 3, when I failed grade 3 because my parents were getting divorced. And it was the only time I had really high grades. The rest of the time, I just did okay. And understand something, I'm more than okay, thank you. I don't need your tests. I don't need to do okay. I told my kids, listen, just pass it. You know what? This is the deal right now. And if I could do it all over, they would have never went to public school. But I said to them, guess what? Just pass it, because if you're doing something that you can't stand that's absolutely stupid, just think how you're going to do when you find your passion and purpose and you got your father behind you. I will do whatever I can to make sure that you have your dream, not mine. And that's it. All of you out there that are taunting your kids to do good at school, okay? You should be ashamed of yourself. Okay? You need them to tell them, you need to teach them how to love themselves, care for themselves, because then they won't get into the drugs. They won't get into the toking, the smoking. They won't be pulling their pants down, okay, to try to get desperately love. And remember something, when they came, you gave them unconditional love. And then guess what? We were taught to judge our children, so they couldn't trust us anymore. And that's why they start looking for a new family. The whole thing was to uproot us and tear us apart. And I say, forget that. It's not happening on my watch. I don't know what I'm doing, but right now I stated that I'm going to do 1 more year of whole life coach certification. And understand something, for $4,000, 9 days with me, and we never have more than 20 people. I don't put thousands of people in. I had a call last week and they said, look, if you'll tone your stuff down, Daryl, just a little, we'll give you some ideas. We could put anywhere from 2,000 to 10,000 people in an auditorium because your information's that good. I said, no, I'm not doing it. So I don't know what I'm going to do after this year. I'm going to do whole life coach certification, but guess what? I want to do something for the children, okay? Okay, because the adults are already adulterated, and guess what? They don't understand. Nobody understands that the brain is 90% subconscious, which is just a computer, okay? And guess what? You never put the programs in. Mommy and daddy did. The church did. The government did. The school did. Why do you think you're screwed up? Why do you think things aren't going your way? Why do you think you make money and you lose it so fast? Why do you think you have relationships and you lose them so fast? Why do you think that you get sick and then you get well and then it comes back? Well, I'm a 3-time cancer survivor. Oh, that's really cool. Stop running that damn program. You shouldn't have got it the first place, but once was enough. Don't give me this 3-time cancer. See, even the way we talk. I'm a cancer thriver because it's never going to be in my body. Talk like that. And it's never going to be there because cancer is just an inflammation. It's the worst type. And you only got inflammation because of the flame, which ate up the oxygen by 35% for more than 3 days. So you went into mutation because it said, I can live off of all the lactic acid and the sugar, because this person doesn't know that sugar has 66 different names, and they think they're eating all this natural stuff, and the sugar is being poisoned into them because guess what? The government is told to never, ever get involved when it comes to food corporations that are owned by big tobacco. All right. And guess what? When I get done here, I'm going to go for a swim. And then we're going to Troncones, which is a surfing place. And I'm going to walk the beach. And you'll be on my mind. You're all on my mind. I just wish you all the love. All the love. But it's got to start from you. Let yourself off the hook. Remember something, everybody, okay? So I'm just going to tell you one last thing. So I wanted to call in my BHN app, I wanted to call where all the master classes are, Evolve, and then they did a statistical thing, and they said, oh my God, we can't do that. We got to call it Learn. And so guess what? I let my staff talk me into that. So now they just changed it. Now they're going to change it back to Evolve. And like I said to the meeting I had this morning, this is personal. I want to go if I can't evolve. I don't need to learn anymore. I remember learning, shoving that stuff down my mouth till I was choking, and then having to regurgitate things that mean nothing. I don't want to learn anymore. I just want to evolve. And if you would get that, you know what? You don't need to learn anything. You just need to evolve into what you were before you came. Let me tell you something. There's so much that I would love to tell you, but guess what? It would blow your minds. But the reality is you were total spirit when you came here. Why do you think they have to poison all the foods? Because we were starting to rise. We were starting to evolve. So they had to bring the poisons on. They had to bring on the LED lights. They had to bring on the blue light. They had to bring on the 5G. They had to bring on the glyphosate. They had to bring on that they can legally poison you and even kill you now. And guess what? And it was like this. They went to all the corporations and all the cycles and said, you have a ticket to ride. You will never go to jail. Go out there. We need to bring down. They are starting to evolve. They're starting to wake up. They're starting to become spirit beings. And if they realize that, then we won't be able to have a slave planet anymore. Whew. You think you're tired. Whew. You should be me, living with me. So, but the reality is, I got to tell you, you might be going, well, God, what's his life like? Well, I don't know. I like pickleball. I like going on my electric bicycle so that I can go 50 miles in one day, without racking myself. Because I will exercise, but I will never hurt myself. You'll never see me in a gym. I don't need a gym. Do you understand? So many things are created to keep us in contraction and to have us do exercises that hurt us. You're never going to hear that I'm ever hurt, sick, down, anything. Because I'm awake and I'm going to stay there. And being awake is this, no matter how you feel.